All right, another beautiful Monday to be right here with you guys on this show. Of course, it's another beautiful show that will be starting on a high note today. And of course, it's Manchester United versus Arsenal football fans banter show. Welcome, guys, to the Final Whistle right here on Jason Sagini, the sports archbishop. Walk with Sagini. I'm joined by a very good panel of pundits and football fans across Kenya, Arsenal fans and Manchester United fans. And of course, as we start this show, of course, hongera kwa mashabiki wote wa Manchester. Na hii show bila shaka inafaa kuanza na glory, glory Man United. Glory, glory Man United. Glory, glory Man United. And the Reds go marching on. Baba, yani kama kuna timu moja ambayo inapatia tu raha wiki hii na mwezi huu mzima na wiki nzima ni klabu hii Manchester United. Of course, we had a very big game yesterday at the Emirates in London where a lot of magic happened. And of course, najua Mudali at the moment as we speak, mambo tu ni hapa, piga uruka. Piga it looks like Emirates has now become the official dancing venue for Manchester United players, because whenever they go there of late, it's just dance. In God, it's just dancing day in day out. But then, guys, let's look at the round of 23 games zilikuwaje, na hivi ndivyo mambo yalikwenda katika ligi kuu soka Uingereza kabla ya kuanza uchambuzi wa mechi hiyo babu kubwa iliyokuwa jana. If you look at this graphic on this screen of viewers, mtazamaji wangu, you can see we had, of course, mixed results from mixed games. Liverpool, of course, losing 3-2 versus Bournemouth, and that is a very big one for Liverpool because at the moment they sit outside the top 4. And of course, Nottingham Forest beating Brentford. Aston Villa walipiga Newcastle, sijui aje lakini ilifanyika. Chelsea also brothers to the big Manchester United ambao pia wakashinda 3-1 na Crystal Palace. I also wondered how Chelsea managed to win against Crystal Palace at their backyard. But then Fulham beating Brighton, and Sunderland also nilishangaa, manake Sunderland, how did Sunderland lose to West Ham 3-1? But then that's how things were. Na niwakaribisha sana wenzangu DJ Mike Mudali pamoja pia na shabiki mwingine wa Manchester United anaitwa Derek Jumba upande wa pili. Mambo vipi Mudali, uko upside down bana? Turn your phone. We cannot see you, are kumegeuka, sijui umeangalia wapi huko. Put on a rotate, then turn your phone ukue full screen kama wengine. DJ Mike, mambo vipi? Uko mzima? Umeshapona majeraha bado?
Amwel Sagini.
Mambo vipi?
Niko mzima.
Una neno? DJ Mike, yani anyway, I understand you, my guy. Anyway, guys, don't worry, don't be shocked why DJ Mike doesn't have a whole sentence of greetings. He's an Arsenal fan, so you can understand him that yesterday. Mweleweni. Derek na Mudali, mambo vipi?
Mambo poa Sagini, tuko salama, tunashukuru. Is a new week. Manchester United things.
Oh yes. Bila shaka. Mudali, hali vipi?
Niko salama. A few hits here and there, naona natumia device yenye sijazoea, lakini I hope everybody can see me now.
Tunakuona vizuri ndugu yangu, usitie shaka. Tunakuona vizuri kama Manchester ikiwa top 4. Unanipata? Lakini pia namsubiri shabiki wa Arsenal mwingine pia aje kutetea timu yake, anaitwa Sheriff Washira. Na mngojea pia naye aje, maana pia ni shabiki wa Arsenal. So it will be 2 Manchester fans versus 2 Arsenal fans on this show. Guys, tutaongelea mengi ikiwemo mechi ya jana ya Manchester na Arsenal ilikwendaje. Kwa hivyo kama una kauli yote ile pale kwenye Facebook ama kwenye YouTube, basi usisite kutuma kauli yako na pia maoni yako kwenye Facebook yetu hii hapa kwenye comment section. Tuma ujumbe wako, lakini pia share ili iweze kuwafikia wengi. Kwa hivyo tutakuwa na mjadala mkubwa kuhusiana na mechi ya jana kati ya Manchester na Arsenal ambayo iliishia kwa ushindi wa Manchester United hiyo kwa magoli 3-2. Lakini pia tutaangazia pia ule tuseme kwamba how can we call it, uwezekano wa Arsenal kusalia katika kilele mwa jedwali na kunyakua taji la EPL msimu. Je, do you think Arsenal still have the mental strength to win the Premier League this season? That's my biggest question. But also Michael Carrick amekuwa na mwanzo mzuri anaporejea kama kaimu kocha klabuni Manchester. In his 2 opening games, big games so far against Man City and against Arsenal, ameshinda zote mbili na ameshinda kwa kucheza vizuri kabisa. So the question to Michael Carrick is, do you think he should also be included in the permanent role? Do you think he should be considered for the permanent role job at the Manchester job? Lakini pia unafikiria the chasing pack for Arsenal, Man City and Aston Villa, and they reduce the 4 points gap and close it until they make sure that they have even overturned the table and they take the lead, because at the moment Arsenal wanaongoza ligi hiyo kwa alama 4 peke yake baada ya kuongoza kwa alama kadhaa. Kumbuka hii inakuwa ndio mara ya kwanza kabisa msimu huu Arsenal inafungwa mechi nyumbani Emirates baada ya michuano 16 bila kupoteza mechi nyumbani. Msimu huu Arsenal kwa mara ya kwanza msimu huu wanafungwa mechi ya nyumbani na wanafungwa kwa magoli 3, ikiwa it is the highest number of goals they've conceded at home. I don't know for the last 10 years, 20 years, anyway, DJ Maka ataniambia. Lakini ndivyo hivyo. At the moment as we speak, only Sunderland is the only unbeaten team at their home stadium as we speak. Okay? Only Sunderland is the unbeaten team at home as we speak. But then Arsenal walipata kichapo jana wakafungwa, na bila shaka kila mtu alikuwa na majonzi, si mashabiki, si wachezaji, si kocha, si wanaosha vyombo kule Emirates, si waosha magari, si dereva wa gari, wote walikerwa na walisikia vibaya na kufungwa kwa Arsenal na klabu ya Manchester United. Lakini niko na shabiki hapa wa klabu ya Arsenal. DJ Mike, hebu niambie jana, what really went wrong for your club? Unmute your mic.
Asante sana Sagini.
Yes.
Thank you all Mudali. Karibuni sana. Jana from my analysis is that I realized that the team was tensed. Na sijui ni kwa nini tulikuwa tuna tense, and it's United and yet we are at home. But I could notice that they were more afraid about losing than coming out with that confidence of winning. Yeah. I don't know if Arsenal usually fumbles when it matters most. And even we are in fact lucky that the other teams are also playing shit. Otherwise, we could not be in that position right now. Because Man City could have closed the gap, but they also lost to the same United. So I don't understand what is happening to Arsenal, but I could notice that there was a lack of confidence lacking in the team. It is not that the team we are used to. It's not that the team does not have talent. It is in abundance of talent. And in fact, in Mikel Arteta's wisdom, he decided to panic by bringing in 5 substitutes at a go, by exhausting all 5 subs. So you could see a lot of poor decision making from the coach, from the players. But be that as it may, it does not matter that you have lost the game. But how have you lost that game?
Yep.
I never saw any fighting spirit from the team like Arsenal have always been. I saw a team that lacked creativity at all. I saw Saka, who was not even Saka, even Madueke was just running around like a headless chicken. So I don't understand what is happening to the team. They need to understand that we are now in a title race. We are tired of finishing runners up. So they need to reset. They need to and the team is lacking a leader. I don't think that's why Odegaard was even substituted. I think, to me, Odegaard is not supposed to be the captain. If we are to be genuine and honest.
All right, that's a
but
very.
We still have I mean, Arsenal just need to win 15 games to be crowned EPL champions. Just 15 games, a winning streak of 15 matches, and we are home and dry. But now look at the kind of performances that we are exhibiting against in big matches. I'm really short of words. Anyway, that's my take.
All right, great. There are two key points that DJ Mike just put across on the table here, Derek. Amesema kwamba he doesn't believe that Odegaard should be the captain, and two, DJ Mike says that the club doesn't have leaders. Something I fully agree. Another thing which I also question about Arsenal, you can't be chasing to win the league, yet you're depending on corners to score. Why did you sign Gyökeres? You spent a lot of money. Arsenal spent a lot of money on strikers and forwards. Noni Madueke, Gyökeres, Havertz, Jesus, but at the moment they are depending on corners to win games. Do you think DJ Mike's concerns about Odegaard and lacking a leader are correct, and why, Derek?
Thank you so much, Sagini. I think I can now see the reason why Nyambura even didn't show up for the show, because the way DJ Mike is trying to explain himself, I just sympathize with him because he's even short of words. He's now blaming everybody. Okay, let me go to the point direct. That I don't know when Arsenal realized that they are lacking a leader, because they have been having the same leader since the season began. So to me, yes, Odegaard might be around 28 years of age, but he's a leader. It's only that when he got an injury, that is the time he decided to go somehow quiet. Yesterday, I think what went wrong with Arsenal was they came to the match actually underrating Manchester United, because for the last 30 minutes, Arsenal really played extremely well. We have to agree with that. When they got the goal, they just thought Manchester United will be the same Manchester United, only to come and realize that Manchester gained confidence after scoring the equalizing goal, and from there they had their match. They had to run for their match. So to me, Arsenal, they have a leader, yes, but the problem they are facing right now is like they are very exhaustive. They played midweek, so they had only four days to train, so walikuwa wamechoka somehow. Also, they had given much of their zeal on the match they played against Inter Milan. So to me, that was the main thing that costed Arsenal yesterday. They underrated Manchester United. They overplayed during Inter Milan game. Then coming to this game, they underrated, and they couldn't even give much to what we expected them to do.
Right, bila shaka sana sana kwa hilo. Mudali, wamezungumzia kuhusiana na walipokosea Arsenal, lakini wewe kama shabiki wa Manchester United, where do you think Michael Carrick got it right, and where do you think the players of the great Manchester United got it right in that game? Because in the first half, Manchester, clearly and truly speaking, they were not really playing as a team. They were not that clinical. They were kind of too cautious of the ball. They didn't have the ball so much. Arsenal had the ball too much. And whenever they got the ball, Manchester players, there were 2-3 players surrounding a United player, and that's why walikuwa nakosa mpira sana. But in the second half, things changed. What do you think really worked for Manchester to get that win yesterday?
Now, Sagini, tukiangalia game, in the first 30 minutes, we can say that Arsenal were very dominant. Na walikuwa wamecontrol the tempo. But unajua, we can say much. We can say a lot about how Arsenal did not come up for the game. But we are not saying just how good United were, actually. Na nimeangalia Carrick, and the way Carrick approaches the ball, it is an interesting way that alihold up kidogo, took up to Arsenal, akasoma their game plan, and then executed. The execution was very simple. Carrick ball ilikuwa, and many things have been said about Amorim, but I think I would like to give Amorim a thumbs up. He has really developed the team into a defense-minded team. What am I trying to say? Looking at the wings, Dogu and Ahmad, walikuwa very critical in how United played. Actually, all of them were dropping and all of them were going forward together. And even Mbeumo was doing very well, and Bruno. We were defending as a unit and also going forward as a unit. What that did, especially kwa wings, ilifanya Saka and who was on the other wing, the wingers were Arsenal. They were very frustrated coming into the game. So I think United got it well on the arrangement in the pitch, especially on the formation. Dogu na Ahmad were very critical players in the team. And another thing that United got right was converting chances when it counted. You see, kuanzia season ianze Sagini, all of you can agree with me that United has not had an issue with creating chances. The issue has actually been scoring. And mabao kuna vile zinafungwa. You see those goals yesterday speak of a team of confidence. For example, looking at the goal from Mbeumo, he took the ball, the mistake from Zubimendi, capitalized on it, but with confidence. You can see the way he took the goal. Looking at Dogu, the exchanges, the 1-2 exchanges with Bruno, and looking at Maino, oh my God. Just look at the way he controls the midfield, the way he makes what Maino does, and reduce the distance in the midfield. You see, having Bruno and Casemiro as your two midfielders was really limiting. But with Maino, there's an extra option. That is why in the midfield, Zubimendi, Rice, and I think Odegaard walishindwa sana kukuja nyuma behind the line, behind the Manchester United midfield line. And it was actually because of the numbers. So I think Carrick got it right in the formation. And again, lazima tupe Amorim thumbs up. That team defends as a unit. And I think it is due to his, especially Ahmad, venye amecheza wing back and Dogu, I think it helps the team a lot when it comes to using a back four.
Yeah, there's a fan called Brian Kuya. He also told me the same thing this morning, that you guys should, of course, give a thumbs up and give Ruben Amorim his flowers, because yesterday you guys defensively, you are good, because I think that mentality of Ruben Amorim defensive style of 5 back 3 and 2 wing backs really worked well, because every player was coming back to defend. But then, DJ Mike, looking at that Manchester United squad as an Arsenal fan and how they played against you and beating you 3-2, one word for that team.
Which team? United?
Yes.
Sagini, you must be a joker.
Why?
United is nowhere near good. It's just that we gifted them 3 goals.
Gifted.
I am surprised that you think now United is now on form. There's no form there.
I didn't say they're on form. I only asked you, give me one word for that team after they beat you and the performance they've had recently. Give me one word for that team.
You know, let me be honest. And I said it yesterday before even the game started, that Carrick is the only manager that Mikel Arteta finds it elusive to beat. And yesterday he has managed to set up the team well. He has managed to bring some sort of confidence in the team and some sort of freedom. You know, playing a team that has a lot of freedom. They had nothing to lose. Everybody expected them to lose the match, but they were playing with so much freedom that whatever results come, may they come what may. They were playing with a lot of freedom and confidence, and even after the one goal that we got, they never panicked. They restructured their team. They went on playing with freedom, and it's very dangerous to be playing such a team that has got nothing to lose. Yeah, so great. Yesterday I congratulate them for their fighting spirit. Even after Merino managed to score the second goal, they still did not give up. I just noticed that Kuna has scored. I didn't even know where that goal came from. I was just shocked that it is behind the net.
All right.
So okay. I congratulate Man United, but we live to fight another day.
Great. We live to fight another day. And that's where we switch on to gears to our next topic of discussion here. Of course, Arsenal currently sitting on top of both tables, the UCL and the Premier League. They are the kings of sitting on top of the table, but then we know what will happen at the end of the season. But then I don't want to say what will happen because each and every one of you knows. So if you know, you know. If you don't, that's why you are here to get to know. But then Arsenal sitting on top of that table, right now, the point gap has reduced from 7 to 4. Of course, this is something to be of worry. And DJ Mike, is it something that is worrying you that the point gap may punguzwa? And how much does it worry you that now the points difference is 4 and it's almost like we are now starting the title race immediately?
You know, Sagini, the point is not it's not about the gaps or whatevers, or these narratives about gaps. The point is, how does Arsenal react to the loss yesterday to Manchester United?
Yep.
There are other very little things teams coming up, like Leeds. Leeds is also not a very small team. They should be worried about how to react to such teams. How is Arsenal going to reset? What is the work of Jesus and Gyökeres if we are going to be over-reliant on set pieces? What is their work? They are supposed to be, and even the Odegaard, the midfield. The midfield also need to be created. They are not creating chances for Gyökeres. They are not passing. I can see sometimes they are not passing the ball to him. The wingers want to score. They're not passing the ball to Gyökeres. So I have not seen Gyökeres missing an open chance. It is because they are not creating chances for him. The work of the wingers is not to score. It is to create chances for the striker. The striker is Jesus and Victor Gyökeres. So that we have a series of problems that need to be sorted out by Mikel Arteta if we are to be declared the EPL champions. As of now, I'm not so sure anymore. After what I saw yesterday, I'm not so sure that we have what it takes to win.
All right.
I am not so sure. I have to be honest, I'm not so sure.
Great. The only Arsenal fan on this set here, DJ Mike, says that he's not so sure if they can still win the league. I don't know if you are an Arsenal fan watching this show. Kindly let me know on the comment section. Do you think Arsenal can still win the league after yesterday's drama and yesterday's shock? Do you think they can still win the league? Because I believe one game does not determine if you can win the league or not. Because yesterday games, only one game. We are remaining with 16 games of 14. So those are a lot of games that still they can win. But then, with what we've seen yesterday, do you think they can still win the league? Mudali, if you look at that table and how it looks, of course, at the moment, mambo si mazuri kwa Arsenal because Man City wameweza kukuja, Aston Villa pia wako hapo, alafu kwa umbali Red Devils pia wanakuja tu kuvizia. Ukiangalia Arsenal, do you think they have that mental strength to keep up with this 4 points gap and push to the end and win the league?
That's actually the wording I was looking for. Unaona hiyo neno umesema mental strength. It is the word I was looking for because as you rightly put it, one game is very unlikely to determine how a league goes. However, the performance, as DJ Mike venye ameiweka, the performance in a game, the way Arsenal played, there was a clear lack of zeal. There was a clear lack of effort. There was a clear, you see the way champions play, yeah? So I would say it remains for us to see. I've tried to check their next 5 fixtures. The next 5 fixtures. Arsenal play Leeds, Sunderland, Brentford, Tottenham, and Chelsea. Those are the next 5 fixtures. Those are quite heavy fixtures. And it only needs one team to tip you off. And Arsenal, in the last 3 matches, I think they have had 2 draws, and now they have had a loss. I think that one does something mentally. So, 4 points Villa behind and 4 points City behind. They are coming in on their heels. Remember, hapo tuko na Unai Emery, tuko na Pep Guardiola. Those are people with mentality, as you rightly put it. So, as it stands now, it remains for us to see. We can only see. And then DJ Mike mentions an interesting thing about Arsenal winning with corners. I think even the way they do with the corners, I would call it very scrappy. The corners are very scrappy. For example, yesterday's corner with a lot of dark arts, I will dare say. Yeah, They try to move around, confuse the goalkeeper. I even saw Merino make a move yesterday that quite blinded Lamens in that. Lamens would have moved angesonga nyuma kidogo, but due to the impeding behind, and you see those are dark arts. That is not sustainable if you want to win a league. Okay, you might do that if you are looking for a 1-0 lead or kama mambo imeenda mbaya mnatafuta win moja, but I don't think you can rely on that. And so as it stands, we can only wait to see. But hata mimi, I thought Arsenal had a squad depth, but as it stands, if that is venye kutaenda, I'm not so sure as well.
There is one fan who said, I saw a petition online that Premier League should consider changing the rules on protecting the goalkeeper whenever a corner is being played because of such incidents whereby the goalkeeper cannot even do anything. And I think this is what Arsenal are doing this season, depending on corners to win game. But then anyway, kila mtu ama kila nyani na starehe zake mtini. Lakini Derek, hebu niweke wazi niambie hii Arsenal, manake DJ Mike is not so sure if they can still win the league. Mudali thinks that they don't have the mental strength capability to win the league still. But Derek, if you look at the Arsenal squad, I think at the moment, heading into the last half of the season, it is for the first time that Arsenal is having a fully fit squad, and they also have a good squad depth. Don't you think this is something that they can rely on and win the league, turn things around after that loss yesterday, turn things around and win the league?
For Arsenal to win the league, they need, I agree with them, mental strength. And also, number two, they also need to, they need that maturity to organize themselves, to compose themselves and know that they are the favorites. I would say this, whatever Arteta is going to tell his players about yesterday's match is going to determine a lot. And to me, unlike DJ Mike here, I want to disagree with him a little bit. I want to believe as it stands, according to me, Arsenal has what it takes actually to win the Premier League. Because, number one, they are done with Aston Villa. Number two, they are done with Man City. Number three, I think they are also done with Manchester United. So, when it comes to the big teams, they are almost done with it. They are remaining with that kind of mental setup. If they manage to reorganize themselves, I think to me, it will be a plus for them. Then another thing I want also to remind my panelists here is that as we speak, as we also talk about how you can win the league, number one or number two, we have mentioned about how Arsenal scores their goals. I think they have been struggling and they have been depending on set pieces all along. I saw a post, I don't know, was it last week, somebody was saying that somehow Saka is denying Gyökeres passes, how to score. If that thing can go into the Arsenal's dressing room, I think it is going to be a very big hindrance to them. But for me, as it stands, Arsenal have my around 60% of winning this league because they are done with the big teams.
Na mtazamaji, uli hapo kwenye comment section niambie, do you think Arsenal can still win the league? And let me just take some comments before we continue with another topic here. I can see Virginia Sancho Wakio anasema GGMU forever. Asante sana shabiki mkubwa huyo wa Manchester United. Na naona pia Chip Keys Adam anasema Arsenal hata maombi yao Mungu hawezi yasikia. Baba, Mungu hachagui, anasikiza kila mtu, kwa hivyo huwezi kujua. Bro Chris anasema ai bwana chanene na Arsenal bwana, it's just giving back to the community. It has been long since you beat at home. Yeah? On this issue of creating chances, take us back to our transition. We are very slow in the build-up, and that's one thing or one area that yesterday the Red Devils waliwashindia. Captain Z anasema Arsenal just do not have the oomph anymore after playing all those games. Walidraw mara moja, Cup Champions League ama ligi sijui wapi. You can't play same players every game and expect to win a team like Man Utd that plays only once a week. Okay, kauli yake Captain Z. Pia nawe unaweza kuniambia una maoni gani ama una hisia zipi kuhusiana na Arsenal kuwa na ile ubora wa kiakili wa kunyakua ligi baada ya kuangushwa jana na the Red Devils. Lakini if you look at the chasing pack, Mr. Mr. DJ Mike, look at the chasing pack, because you rightfully put it that you're not so confident if you can still win the league. But look at this chasing pack that is chasing Arsenal. Unajua katika riadha tunakuwa na leader alafu kuna chasing pack. Sasa hapa leader ni Arsenal. Then the chasing pack is of course two at the moment, Man City and Aston Villa. Do you think they have the capability of reducing that 4-point gap to 0 and even surpassing you?
Asante Sagini. As I said earlier, Arsenal, we are very lucky that we are still in that position, because teams zingine zote, as you can see, Liverpool imeangusha form yake imeenda chini sana. In fact, Arne Slot is facing the sack. They have actually contacted Xabi Alonso to ask him of his availability and his position regarding the job. Now let's go to Aston Villa. Aston Villa is also being very shaky at the moment. City, this is the time that it becomes dangerous. But for Meow lately, I don't know. They have a defense problem. But they brought Mark Guehi. Let's see how they build up on that. But as it is, Arsenal has a very good chance. But how will they react going forward? They have a midweek match, which I'm sure they will win it easily. But then comes again Leeds, a very tricky side. You see, I agree with the mental strength part. But then there is also a lack of fighting spirit. When you're 1-0 down, that's not how you play. How do you come back to the game? You cannot come back to the game as if you're playing if we get a goal, fine. If we don't, fine. You cannot have that kind of attitude when you're in a title race. That is the attitude that Arsenal is now employing in the title race. That's why I say I didn't say there is no quality in that team. In fact, Arsenal for years now. If Man United have beaten Arsenal once. This is now the first time after 8 years they are beating Arsenal at Emirates Stadium. So it means that Mikel Arteta has done a very good job in bringing some kind of organization into the team, in some kind of confidence into the team. But I did not see that yesterday. I saw a very disorganized team, a team that lacked any spirit, a team that maybe thought they were playing Gor Mahia or something, or some kind of team. Those kind of teams, or maybe Panathinaikos, those kind of teams. I never saw that kind of arrogance that they usually have. I saw a very weak side yesterday. But first half, we were able to play very well. Around 30 to 40 minutes, we were controlling the game. Then we lost the plot after that. I think that's my take. But I wouldn't underestimate Pep Guardiola at this point. He becomes very dangerous in the running. He's a very experienced coach. Same to Unai Emery. We know his exploits in European football. But there is a difference between European and domestic football. But he's also very experienced. So if Arsenal continue joking, they can only blame themselves.
Very correctly and rightfully said there, Mudali. If you look at that chasing pack, how strong is Man City and Aston Villa? And first of all, just for you to answer me, is the 4 points gap really big, or is it too small for Arsenal?
First, to put this into context, a 4-point gap inamaanisha a win and a draw, and Arsenal loses 2 matches. That is with the current state of affairs. Na tukicheki Arsenal sometimes they play European football midweek vizuri, and then when it comes to the league matches is probably due to the fatigue ndo inaleta normal. Looking at this, the 4 points are not so many. Mind you, remember we've been at a point where we had a point of around 8 to 9 points, and you see, it only takes a match for us to reduce to 3, and then another match for us to reduce to 0. And you can see, so Arsenal are not very safe. They are at 50 points. Probably their goal difference is 25. Not even better than City, because City have 26 at the goal difference. So I would say Pep Guardiola knows how to win the league. He has won it several times. Mr. Good Evening, that is Unai Emery. Tumemwona at Arsenal, but I don't think we have seen him win the league, but we know he got what it takes. So the chase for Arsenal is very much on. And you see, Sagini, sometimes when you are being chased, if you march forward and continue running, the better for you. But do you know what Arsenal is going to do? Arsenal wanaenda kuangalia hivi on their shoulder, and when you check on your shoulder and your opponent is charging, by that opponent I mean Manchester City and Pep, I don't think it's going to be any easy for them. The only thing they can do, na vile nimesema, we can only wait. They have to win their league matches and not lose even one. Because this pressure, if you're 9 points, if there's a 9-point gap or a 12-point gap, then we are talking about 4 matches. But if you're talking about 4 points now, and those are 2 teams, it means that if either of them wins a game and you lose, or for any reason you draw, it means that the pressure piles. Assuming that City or Villa, if it was one team chasing, the pressure would have been kidogo for Arsenal. But look at the 2 giants, and mind you, let's talk about Mr. Unai Emery. Huyo ni jamaa mwenye tunaweza sema ako na kisasi on the way that he left Arsenal, assuming that there's anything like that. So I would say he would love to prove a point maybe, and Pep tumemjua kama mtu mwenye anajua kubeba ligi. So hiyo chase iko very much on, and it will only take a sleep, one, for Arsenal, for them to realize the pressure. And you know, when the pressure piles, their normal happens, and Arsenal will be doomed if they don't win their match. That is
right. All right. In the next 5 fixtures, Derek, do you think Arsenal will drop that top 1 position? Do you think they'll drop from the top in the next 5 fixtures?
Yeah, there is a possibility, because I've seen a certain team there called Black Cats. Black Cat is Sunderland. And we all remember what happened to their match, the first leg match, Arsenal versus Sunderland. So I just feel like there might be a team that is going to destroy Arsenal's good reputation. They are likely to drop points, especially with the Sunderland mid-table teams like Sunderland and Brentford, very likely. But as also my other panelists have also alluded to the same, we are teams that are actually looking at this league from a distance. The likes of Aston Villa, you know, with the Unai has been known to be that one manager who does not do well, especially in his 3rd season in a club. Na ukiangalia poa vizuri kabisa, hii ndio season ya 3 ya Unai pale Aston Villa. So also he wants to prove a point that why is it that season yangu ya 3 I always perform poorly to an extent that I end up being sacked. So this time round I can see him pulling a very good string so that he can prove a point. So if you can get that point, it's better you mark it. Then also Pep has been having problems with his defense, and he has brought Gueye. So if he can stabilize that defense and win consecutive matches, as I know, you have a very big problem.
Okay, here on the comment section, James Obiero anasema kwamba mambo zenu wachambuzi wa soka. James Obiero hapa, tena shabiki wa Chelsea, niko Kakamega Shikambi. Asante sana James Obiero kwa kutenga muda. Wasalimia sana wote huko Shikambi na maeneo yote Kakamega na Malava, wote ambao tunawapenda sana. Anasema kwamba naona hiyo gap ya City na Arsenal ni ndogo sana. Arsenal wakimestu hiyo kwisha, na City wanakuja sana. Next game kwa Arsenal itakuwa Fulham, so itakuwa fire juu ya fire. So niambie tu mtazamaji, kama una kauli yako niambie, wewe unahisi vipi? Je, Arsenal watashuka daraja, watashuka kutoka nafasi ya kwanza, ama watasalia kuwa hapo hadi mwisho wa msimu? Na je, wana uwezo wa kisaikolojia, kiakili wa kunyakua taji la ligi kuu soka taifa Kenya? Nisdi Kim Ndio anaingia anasema, nawaona sana watu wangu. Asante sana Nisdi Kim kwa kuingia na kipindi. Changia mara, niambie unahisi vipi kuhusiana na ushindi wa jana Manchester. Najua una furaha kubwa sana. Lakini now guys, I want us to switch and talk about another interesting factor that I saw yesterday in the game. And this is about the United coach, of course, bwana Michael Carrick. Michael Carrick amefanya kurejea Manchester kwa mara ya pili tu, na safari pia kama tulivyokuwa msimu 2021 alipowafunga tena Arsenal. Michael Carrick returned again as the interim manager after the Ruben Amorim sack that took place, of course, earlier this month in this year. But now something interesting is Michael Carrick amekutana na amecheza na bila shaka Mikel Arteta uwanjani, na amekutana mara mbili na Arteta hajawahi kumfunga hajawahi kumfunga Michael Carrick. Katika mechi mbili amecheza amemfunga zote with the same scoreline, 3-2, February 2021, no, December 2021, and of course this January 2026. That is 5 years ago. Carrick beat Arsenal, beat Mikel Arteta 3-2. 5 years from then, tena bado ile 3-2 bado. So my biggest question is, this guy looks like he has turned things around, because these are the same players that Ruben Amorim was failing to deliver and showing what they got. But here comes Michael Carrick, ambalisha timu. They are playing now good, attacking football, winning mentality. They have the energy, they have the oomph, and they are winning big games. Don't you think he should be considered for the permanent role, Mr. DJ Mike?
Well, I've seen a very good display kuanzia ile siku ya City, but you see there is a difference between rebuilding and steadying the ship.
Yeah.
Does Carrick have the experience of steadying the ship? Does he even have the players? I think yesterday, not I think, Man U was playing a false nine. They have no striker because you shipped your striker to Barcelona. That's Marcus Rashford.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when the rubber hits the bullet, is Carrick going to step up? Is he the manager that will take United forward? I don't think so. I think they need a bigger manager, and Roy Keane alluded to this fact. They need a manager in the caliber of Antonio Conte, for example, Zinedine Zidane, Xavi, who is also not Alonso, the one for former Barcelona coach.
Xavi.
Those are the kind of managers I think Ineos should be looking at.
Mm-hmm.
But he can be given a chance. There are like 15 to 17 games left. We can see the outcome from those games and arrive at a conclusion on whether he has what it takes. But for me, they need a bigger coach, irrespective of those results. That notwithstanding, he has so far given a good account of himself.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's very correct. Of course, and I can see that you are agreeing that maybe he should. He's a good coach, yes, but then maybe let him just finish his job that he was given. That he should finish the job till the end of the season. Then after that, we'll get a new coach. But remember, Mudali, this is how Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got this job permanently. He also came in as interim, and then he performed well. Then akapewa job. Baada ya kupewa job, akatupeleka number 2, played in a final, tukapoteza. Okay, after finishing number 2, the next season akafuta job. After signing Ronaldo, akafuta job. So will it be the same script for Michael Carrick?
Probably not. And many things have been said, many that I don't agree with, especially regarding Carrick. I really namred sana M16, Michael Carrick 16, namred sana. And first of all, before I even say anything, because I have a lot to say regarding this one, your history a big manager. I've seen it go online, and Manchester United has had big managers talk about LVG, Louis van Gaal, talk about ujama wa Everton, mwenye tulitoa Everton. Who is it?
Moyes.
I think we've had big managers. I think Ten Hag is a big manager. Amorim was a proven manager at Sporting. So as Roy Keane, and I don't listen to Roy Keane as much, but as Roy Keane alludes to, I don't think I agree with that. That United needs a big manager, and Roy Keane and the likes of Gary Neville are the people who made it at Manchester United, and probably they think nobody else can make it at United. And I find, this is personal now, I find their comments quite negative. So I will not really go with what they say. Hapo kwa big manager, I think I disagree a lot. I think we need to look at a manager that understands the team. I'm not saying M16 understands the team, but I think M16 has been in the team for this long time to understand what people call the DNA. I think even the way he sets up the team, and I like his composure. Unajua DJ Mike mentioned during the 4 substitutes, M16 was just relaxed. He didn't see that tension. I like that from him. I will not say that he gets the permanent role, but I will say that we need to watch him. I like the way he gives the freedom to the players. I know he understands the team. He has worked under Mourinho, has worked under Ole Gunnar, has had the initial spell. Now he has another spell. To be fair to him, and the way Rooney said, I think Rooney said that Michael Carrick understands the team. He's been at the team. And that challenge that he took, a kind of Middlesbrough, was it Middlesbrough? There's a team down there that he went there, I think, for a season. Yeah. I think it gave him that understanding of the players. He built Middlesbrough, actually, ilikuwa imeenda chini sana. So looking at it, I'm not saying that we should consider him, but I'm saying that he understands what needs to be done. For example, United has had a problem in the midfield. Amorim said that Maino and Bruno cannot play in the same field. But looking at it, Bruno is a number 10. Maino is an 8 who is box to box. And looking at Casemiro can play you a 6 to hold. So if you play the 3 of them, and Michael Carrick was our silent midfielder during that time, and he really, when you wouldn't see them in the game, but after the game, you would realize the impact, as many coaches say. So looking at the way he arranges the midfield, he understands what needs to be done. And I think time will prove us. But when you talk to a team low block, that is the likes of Kina Crystal Palace, maybe tutaona. But as of now, I think he understands the team. And for him to be appointed or not, watch it to play the game towards the end of the season or to semi. But for now, perfect man for now.
Right. One thing that Mudali has been evading from saying it openly, Mudali keeps saying that I don't mean that he is the right man for the job, but I mean, okay, in short, in summary, what Mudali just said is Carrick is the right man for the permanent role. That's what he's been saying. But then there's one point that you've risen here, that you don't agree with big managers quote, okay? And I want to remind DJ Mike that their current coach, who they are backing to win them first league title in 20 years, was not a big coach. He has never been a manager somewhere before coming to Arsenal. He was an assistant. But Michael Carrick has been an assistant, has been an interim manager, and has been a manager for a club that is playing competitive football in England, despite that it was in the championship. But then he played, or he was a coach for a team for a full season, okay? And he did wonders there. So I think you should also consider some of these factors and look at how he's been building himself as a manager. And Rome was not built in one day. Derek, what do you think about Michael Carrick? Mimi nafikiri kwamba Manchester sasa hivi hahitaji kocha ambaye ana jina kubwa, maanake anakuja na pressure. Manchester kwa hizo inahitaji kocha kama Arteta ambaye hana jina, anakuja kujiundia. Yani he is coming to build his own project with young players who don't have big names. What do you think?
I also want to agree with you because Sagini and my panelists, all of us before where we are in margin, kila mtu at least alipatiwa chance to build himself. So to me, I also want to agree that Carrick should be given this chance to prove himself. The likes of Arteta, because if you look at the world right now, we are short of good managers. Let me say so, and we also need to trust these upcoming managers, the likes of Arteta, the likes of Company, the likes of Carrick. We need to trust them. I think the biggest undoing of Manchester United is this kind of shareholding kind of thing. We have the Ineos, then we have also the Glazers. Then we have our former players who keep on criticizing every manager that comes in, I think to me it is not good. But there is a difference between being an interim and also being a coach. As we speak right now, Carrick is an interim. Na wewe unajua tu mtu akipewa kibarua huwa anafanya poa sana, because you also want to persuade your employers that you want that job. So we watch the space, but if you ask me, Carrick seems to be the right man as we speak. Also, I want to believe so, because look at what happened after the match. He went and hugged the players. Akina, you could see hugging Akina Cunha, and then yani there was confidence, and you could see the gel in the players. Everything looked to be compatible. For me, it was a very nice thing. And if Carrick can be given that managerial role, number one, to sign players, number two, to be the head of what is going on at Manchester United. Now that he was at United for around 24 years, I think we have gotten the right man for the job. That is my take. Carrick all the way.
Carrick all the way, ndivyo anavyosema bwana Derek Jumba hapa. Alan Obiero is following closely, asante sana. Lakini pia naona kauli ndefu hapa Nisdi Kim pamoja pia na Mutunga Edwin. But then let me start with Virginia Sancho, who says Carrick should stay, he is proving a lot. Alafu Mutunga Edwin anasema kwamba Carrick has to prove himself over a period of time. I think the 15 games left are ideal for that. Yes, I agree with you. And then Nisdi Kim amesema kwamba credits to Carrick and deserved. He deserves a spot, and it's because we have seen the turnaround that he has done to Manchester United, just taking over 3 days prior, a big match and winning, actually commanding display, very good. So I think he has shown he can be trusted, and if supported in the transfer window and they bring in the players he wants, he is a good coach, and that's what Manchester United all is looking for. Anasema kwamba big name coaches have been appointed of late, and we have seen them being sacked, and I agree with him. And because of this, it has shown that it's no longer the bigger name coach, okay, so understand, who is good for the job part, someone who knows exactly what the team needs. It's a came to Arsenal. Okay, I don't understand. It's a came to Arsenal and turn things around, even him forever to okay. I don't understand that statement, but anyway, nishapata point yako. Nisdi Kim, lakini ndivyo bila shaka. Alafu lakini kwa ufupi DJ Mike, if he is given a full season at Manchester, do you think he will deliver? DJ Mike, vipi? Umejimute tena? Uko sawa sasa?
I've heard all your yes, niko sawa. Nimesikia maoni yenu wote, lakini sasa for example, what kind of players will Carrick attract? You see, when you talk of Zidane, we are talking of very big players. He's going to attract Carlos Balema.
Hold on, DJ Mike, hold on. Sorry to cut you short. In the transfer window, is it the coach who's attracting players, or is it the project, or is it the team?
Why did Gyökeres not join his coach Amorim and went to Mikel Arteta?
Because of Arsenal's project. That's why he joined Arsenal.
And so you are sure that Carrick has that oomph, that pull, that he's going to attract such players that not United Carrick, need?
Not Carrick, but the whole project of Manchester United under him.
And what is the difference between Carrick and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? There is no big difference.
No, one won trophies.
There is no big difference between the two. Then they would have appointed Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as the permanent manager.
Okay. Perfect.
If then a name does not matter.
I hear you. Anyway, Derek.
Then revert to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Let me hear from Derek. Derek, what position do you think this team will finish at the end of the season with Michael Carrick?
I don't want to sugarcoat things, but for me, I can see there is light at the end of the tunnel somehow, because if Carrick can be able to beat Pep, Carrick has beaten Arteta at home. The last time Arsenal were clobbered 3 goals, it was long time ago. Aya, kwani DJ Mike ameenda?
Narudi.
So to me, I'm having a feeling that we are going to maintain this position. This position 4, we are going to maintain it. And just a right of reply, because nimesikia DJ Mike hapa akisema mambo ya a coach attracting players. Do you know Manchester United only just need to get into the Champions League slot? That is the end of it, because most of the players would like to associate with themselves with the Champions League slot. So if Manchester United can be able just to get into the top 4 slot, that is a go away. And I can guarantee you, with this kind of pace, hata teams zimeshaanza kuona Michael Carrick is that guy. So number 4.
Okay, great. Number 4. Mudali, kwako wewe, mwisho wa msimu na Carrick tutakuwa na mangapi?
Carrick, right of reply, venye tu my panelist Derek amesema, right of reply. I think it's unfair for anyone to compare Carrick to Ole Gunnar in terms of even how they played. DJ Mike, I am of the idea that you might have been watching so many Arsenal games. I might have not known football in those years, but I knew Carrick very much. So I think it's also about the character of the player that attracts other players. And one thing you should know, United won yesterday and everybody even on Thika Road. Nilipita Thika Road jana jioni na hakukuwa kuna pitika. It has so many fans. That goes to the even players. So many players play for different teams, but they are still Manchester United fans. That is something you don't know. So a team attracting players is not an issue of the manager on its own. It's about the character and even the name. Some players just want to play for Manchester United. And the way Mbeumo is playing, it's just because he wanted to come to Manchester. And even Kunha. With that said, top 4, if we continue like this, I agree with Derek. Sioni to top 4 ikitutoka.
Mimi kauli yangu ni fupi tu kwamba Manchester msimu ujao lazima watashiriki michuano mabingwa barani Ulaya, either namba 7, namba 10, namba 15, namba 20, namba 1, namba 3, lazima. Kivyo vyote vile Manchester itakuwepo kwenye michuano ya UCL msimu ujao. Lakini kwa Michael Carrick binafsi nafikiri kwa sasa hivi klabu hiyo inahitaji kocha ambaye hana jina kubwa. Manake that's where that team will be successful. We don't need a big name manager. We need a coach who we can trust, given time, resources, and he can deliver. And that guy is, of course, somebody like Michael Carrick. Namuona Momanyi Ogachi Kelvin anasema Arsenal wameishua power. Hawa bado ni chorus next season iko on repeat mode. Man U kiboko yao. Furaha itaniua jamani. Na kufikia hapo nasema asante Bismillah kwa kutazama kipindi cha leo cha The Final Whistle kutoka mwanzo hadi mwisho. Pana majaliwa the next Monday tutakuwa na mbashara kuletea matangazo mengine ya another episode ya The Final Whistle. Mimi naitwa Jason Sagini, askofu mkuu wa michezo ulimwenguni, na bila shaka as we say as Manchester United fans we have learned how to stay humble after winning the game yesterday. And tunasema pole Arsenal, we are just humble. We just humble. Na watakieni usiku mwema, kwaherini.